we are going to draw an elephant, and not only just an elephant, but we're also going to put some henna designs. And what henna is a plant, and you can use this plant. They've been using it for many years, even back in ancient Egypt, to just give yourself some temporary body tattooing. So it's kind of fun. We're going to draw the elephant first. We're gonna make it nice and easy, and then it's actually really relaxing to draw the henna design. So we'll do that second, and then everyone's just gonna look different in this project, which is really cool. So first, let's start out drawing our elephant. And we're gonna start off by making kind of a backwards letter C. And these are gonna be for the ears. So make a backwards letter C. And then we're gonna do a curved line starting on that C. So you might wanna make a little dot first. Maybe that's a little helpful. And then this is gonna be the head. So we're gonna curve it. And then in between these two lines here, instead of connecting that, what we're gonna do is make a circle. And this is gonna be the elephant's eye. And you can make any kind of eye that you like. Just gonna make one nice and easy. Maybe add a few eyelashes. Okay. Then after that, we're gonna have this elephant with his trunk up because that is for good luck. So we definitely want to include that. So I'm going to start here and kind of go up to that point there. If you make a little point on your paper, it might be easier for you to connect to. And then once you connect that, we're gonna make one curved line, and then bring it down a little bit and do another one. That's gonna be the end of his trunk. And the trunk is kind of thinner and gets thicker as it goes towards the head. So we're going to kind of be thinking about that thickness, nice and thin, and it's gonna gradually get larger and larger. And we're actually gonna turn this kind of into the mouth. So let's just leave that line there for a second. Now, a lot of elephants have tusks. So we're gonna try to draw the tusk by making a curved line right here. And then we can kind of do a tusk right in here. And then we'll just bring down the mouth line right there. Now you could bring it up a little bit more if you like, whatever you wanna do. It's our chunky little cheeked elephant with his little tusk coming out. And you don't want to put too many designs on the inside yet. Like we could have easily added some little wrinkles and things and give that elephant the texture that he actually has. But instead of making him super realistic, we're going to add those henna designs. So we just want to leave him blank. So don't add any color or anything. So now let's start right about here on the ear. So kind of midway, about halfway on the ear. And I'm kind of hiding those dots that I made. You can kind of go over that a little bit so no one sees, but just to help us at home know where to start our lines, that's always helpful. So again, about halfway, we're gonna now start the back of the elephant, and we're gonna curve it slightly, and we're gonna stop about there. And my marker is double-sided, so I'm actually gonna switch to the other side. It seems to be a little too thin. I wanna make my line a little bit thicker. There we go. What's nice is you can always go back over your lines. This is just kind of an initial sketch. And when I'm sketching, I always change up the looks of things. If I don't like it, that's okay. We can always be creative problem solvers and figure out a solution. I think I like this line a little bit more. It's a little bit easier to see it now. There we go. All right, so let's continue. So we got the back line here, and now we're gonna start to add the feet. Now the two legs closest to us, we're gonna draw first, and then we're just gonna add in those legs farther away from us. So let's start on his chin, and we're just gonna bring a line straight down like he's walking. So straight down. And then we're gonna curve it out a little bit. This is gonna be the thickness of that leg closest to us in the front. And then just bring your line back up. Gonna fix his cheek a little bit there. All right, now let's do the back leg. We're gonna do the same way. So you can kind of start where we ended here. And we're gonna bring that line down. And then try to make the same thickness. So kind of look at that, however thick you made that. We wanna kind of go similar on this side and then bring that up as well. Now let's put in his belly. So I'm gonna go down a little bit. I'm not gonna start it up here. I'm gonna bring it down and make kind of a slight curve. A little bit of a curved line. And then with those back legs, I'm gonna make a line right here. And notice I'm not gonna make it even. Instead, I'm gonna go slightly up. So slightly up, they're not even. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So start with the belly, make a line down, and then again, it's not gonna be quite even. We wanna go slightly up. It'll kind of give that perspective that those feet are farther away from us. And then lastly, if you wanna add a tail, you can. Let me fix my trunk again. Looks like he's chewing. You could also draw something right here if you want him to hold something. You could definitely add something on his trunk if you like. That's up to you. His little tail, just gonna make a little bitty squiggle. There we go. That's a good tail. All right, so once you've got your elephant, now is the fun part. So I'm gonna set this aside. I'm actually gonna use this really fun pen that I have. It looks like a waffle. It smells like a waffle too. So just take the cap off and let's talk about henna designs for a second. So let me move our elephant to the side. Bye, elephant. We'll get him back here in a second. So let's look at some basic henna designs. And typically you wanna use a pen. Or anything you have at home, pencil, you could use colored pens. For the one I did online, I used a red kind of a pen color, but you can use any color that you like. And let's talk about some of those designs. So a lot of them are gonna be kind of floral designs. So you're gonna wanna use kind of like petals. And to draw a petal, it's kind of like drawing an oval shape. Okay, an oval shape, but then you just add a point. And that's a basic petal. So you can practice that, making some petals. And then over here, I've combined a few. You can make them in different sizes. And then next to those petals, if you wanna create some overlapping, you can just use basic curved lines. And I use those curved lines all the time. So for example, I'll do a curved line and I'll just add more on the inside, kind of like a rainbow. So you can just repeat a bunch of those designs. You can also use just dots and circles. So a lot of times I'll make a bigger dot and a smaller one next to it. You can also just do different sizes of lines. So some maybe thicker lines or darker lines next to some thinner lines. Always create some interest. You can also do some scallopy kind of lines, so just combining curved lines. You can do dashed lines. All kinds of different lines are going to be good for henna. Sometimes I like to create tassels, and to do a tassel, I'll just do a circle, and then I'll just kind of create some lines around that circle. And it'll kind of give like a tassel type look. So really you just get to go crazy and just doodle. It's very relaxing. There's no wrong way to do it. You can do checkerboard lines. So maybe you want to grab a scrap piece of paper like I have here, and you can practice all different kinds of designs, and then get your drawing back once you've practiced some that you really like. And really, you can just start anywhere you would like. There's no wrong way to do this. So doodle until your elephant is completely covered. The tusk, the tail, everything. You want to cover everything as much as you can. So have fun. This should be very relaxing for you. I can't wait to see what you create.